Let's say you go to a casino in Las Vegas and you have only $100. You can either multiply it by 100 and live happy, or lose it and go back to your boring life. How would you invest this money? Would you play a scratch card, which has a 1 in a billion chance because it is easier to play? Or would you play poker or blackjack, which have much higher odds but require you to use your brain a little bit? Hello, this is Osman from InEv Games. There is a situation in the game industry and it makes me sad. Everyone is making platformer games. Like, there are no platformer games left in the world. Like, half of Steam does not consist of platformer games. Everyone is making platformers. This is a sad thing because it means that nobody is doing market research. It is probably easy for new developers to make platformers. It is okay. I understand. If you are doing game development just to have games in your portfolio, or if you want to show game companies that I can do this, there is no problem. But if you are going to do this job seriously, if you are going to make money from it, the worst thing you can do is to make a platformer game. Because when you do this, your chance of winning are very low. But the competition is high and it doesn't have such a big audience. But there is Celeste, I can make a game as good as it. Firstly, no, you can't. Secondly, yes, there is Celeste, but there are millions of dead platformers under the iceberg. Do you remember what I talked about the survivorship bias in my first video? To understand the survivorship bias, we need to take a trip to the World War II. During the war, military strategists were trying to figure out how to make their airplanes more resilient. They looked at the airplanes that came back from mission, noticing that certain areas are riddled with bullet holes. Naturally, they thought these are the spots we need to reinforce, because there are no holes here, and bullets couldn't penetrate them. So they are very strong. So let's strengthen them. But then a brilliant statistician named Abraham Wald came along and said, wait a minute.
Wait a minute!
He pointed out that they were only looking at the airplanes that survived. The airplanes that didn't make it back likely had damage in other areas. Wald suggested reinforcing the parts of the plane that had no bullet holes because those are the critical areas that, when hit, caused the airplanes go to down. And that's the essence of survivorship bias. We often focus on the successes we see, ignoring the ones that didn't make it. This leading us to make wrong decisions. That's why looking only Celeste is misleading. We need to look at the millions of platformers that didn't make it. Let's go back to our story at the beginning of the video. Do you want to play stretch card just because it is easy? You will probably lose. Of course there is someone who will win that game, but it won't be you. My advice to you is to play poker or blackjack, even if it is difficult to learn. Wait, that's not what this video is about. I hope YouTube doesn't delete this video. Anyway, my advice to you is to do market research and make the games that players want. You can follow Chris Zukowski for this. He has some pretty good advice. If you are too lazy to watch Chris's long videos, I can give you a brief summary. As a game team, horror and dark teams, RPG teams, and of course adult teams are very easy to sell. Sweet, cute, educational teams or for children games are not that good. But there is Starter Valley I can't make? No, you don't. Think survivorship bias. Let's keep going. For genre, RPGs, deckbuilders, city builders, management, roguelikes and visual novels are good. For example, if you make a horror RPG adult visual novel, you will probably reach quite high sale numbers. And it is easy to make, even easier than making a platformer. But VR, open world, tower defense, platformers does not seem to sell much. I will put this video of Chris in the description, you can watch it there and get an idea. I've decided to make a dark themed RPG visual novel for my own game. You will see the develop soon, because I have award-winning story writers and experienced illustrator on my team. Is there a game you are planning to make? Which genre and why did you choose it? Let's discuss in the comments.